All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
What's going on, everybody? Good evening, good evening. This is another episode of Freddie Facts. I'm joined with my main guy, Prod. What's going on, brother?
What they do, baby, as the children say in the streets. So I want to start by saying this. Free Kyrie.
Man, oh man, oh man. I just think it was a time to do another episode. I've been wanting to do one of these. It's just been a minute, but hey, we're here. Let's get into it. But first off, Prod, I want your quick reaction. Your guy, he retired right after the season, but he did what you did. Wanted to come out of retirement. Tell me about it. Your thoughts, your reactions, your feelings. Just let me know what you think about it.
I'm just so excited. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. is coming back. I genuinely believe that the reason he's coming back, he wants that Peyton Manning ending, meaning he wants to end with a Super Bowl. I'm almost positive his next Super Bowl that he wins, but I believe he'll be able to get one. I just think whatever his next Super Bowl, that's when he's going to ride off into the sunset. I didn't know why, in terms of performance-wise, he still can do it. He just came off an MVP caliber year. I'm not saying, I don't want to start the whole thing on do I think he was robbed or anything like that. I don't want to start that. But if you look at the stats, it was an MVP caliber, you have that coming off with now, obviously the season ended. A lot of Bucs fans feel like, we didn't lose because we weren't good. It's just the injuries caught up. Because let's be honest, Freddie, and you've said this before, it was very close, and it took the best throw of Matthew Stafford's career to basically get the Rams over. It was a very tightly contested game up to that point. So I get why he's coming back. Like I said, I just believe that he's just there to get one more ring. As soon as he gets his ring, the final one, he'll ride off into the sunset. You know what I mean? But, I just wish he would have taken his time before saying he was going to retire. Be like, hey, look, I'm not sure. Let's just, let me think on it. Let me go home to my family. Let me talk to them. Tony says, as much as I don't like Brady, he was robbed. Rodgers is a bum. In the playoffs, he is. And I've said it, by the way. I've said it before. And people would kill me. And I said one day, I literally said this, one day, everyone will see what I see. And nobody would give me credit for it. I knew this day was going to come. I knew one day we were going to see that he cares about his stats too much, which is why he will never win another Super Bowl. But again, free pride. Brady's back. I'm just glad. I just hope he wins one more Super Bowl. I think he will. But again, I'm not 100% sure. I just hope it becomes a reality because my fear is he's going to try to stick around too long. And next thing you know, he's going to look like Big Ben or Drew Brees. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Trying to chase that last Super Bowl. So I just hope he wins the Super Bowl so that way he can ride off into the sunset and go be home with that fine, fine wife of his, Giselle.
This is my whole reaction. I'm like, when you're that great, when you're that elite of a player who accomplished the things that Tom Brady have, it's not as easy to step away from something that you've been doing all of your life. You have to adjust to a whole different lifestyle. You have to adjust, not getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to work out and then coming back in late in the evenings. You have to adjust not going to training camp and all the summer activities. You have to adjust to those things. And it's just as easy to say as an outsider, say, oh, he should have just stayed retired. Hey, this is a guy that bleeds, sweat, that loves the game of football. It's not as easy as stepping away as most folks think. But hey, right now, I mean, it's just you have to put him in the level. No matter if you like him or you hate him, you just have to respect greatness. Because every time he get on the field, it's greatness. I mean, And just for him, the longevity of him being able to play on this type of level is just an amazing within itself. So yeah, but
And the thing is, and real quick before, because Freddie, you said something interesting, like, when it comes to it, that's something that, is just, you're just so used to it. And I think it's going to be the same thing with LeBron, where like LeBron has played over half of his life professional basketball. And I think that's just what I think it is with Tomlin. When you start being like, you're in basically the tail end of your career and you're still performing well, that fire still burns. So like I said, just Tommy, get one more for your boy so that way you can ride off into the sunset.
all right, you know, we had an interesting take place in our group chat over at the All Sports All Plays Network. And one individual came into the group chat talking about how this certain individual, Kyrie Irving, deserves an apology and all this stuff. Critics talking about people talking about his game because he dropped 60. By the way, I mean, hey, but let's get this straight.
Which hats off
Nobody
to him.
yeah, but nobody ever questioned Kyrie's Irving talent.
Never.
Never have. No, I mean, it'd be foolish to question that man's talent.
He's at
Everybody
worst a
knows.
top like at worst he's a top 5 guard in the league. At
Yeah,
worst.
yeah. Everybody. Hey, you talking about skills? I mean, drip handles, everything. Kyrie's number one. I mean, hey, arguably number
Oh
one.
yeah,
Not
I
top
think
two.
he's got the greatest handle of all time.
Yeah.
Easily.
So nobody ever questioned this man's talent. Now, I have called him selfish. I mean, of numerous times. This whole thing with the vaccine is not the first time Kyrie Irving stepped away from basketball. That's what people fail to realize.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the first time he came to a team and being a distraction. After he left Cleveland, he went to your Boston Celtics and
Yep.
basically,
And without him, we made the Eastern Conference Finals. Do with that information as you will. And this is what I hate about it. Like, because of how it ended with in Boston, I'm not allowed to talk about him, which I think is dumb. I just think that's just somebody who is a Kyrie fanboy who doesn't want to understand the fact that this dude, every time he has a bad game, he doesn't want to talk to nobody. He goes on sabbaticals whenever he feels like it. And by the way, his sabbaticals, yeah, in Brooklyn, this is the first time people have noticed. He was doing this stuff in Cleveland before LeBron. Like, the thing was, Cleveland sucked, so nobody looked at it. Like, we got to remember when LeBron went back, one of the main reasons, and it's hard to remember, a lot of people were saying LeBron's leadership would rub off on Kyrie because Lord knows Kyrie needs it. And there was a week where everybody was saying, there was multiple reports coming out how Kyrie would skip practice. Kyrie, like, all this stuff. And like, it's like, so are we not allowed to bring that up? Now, again, to your point, Freddie, I'm not saying Kyrie's a bum. I'm not saying that at all, right? And I personally, to be honest, I don't hate. I don't like Kyrie is just, he's all right. I could take him or leave him, to be honest. There's no hatred, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he's my favorite player in the league, So it's not like, I don't have any hatred, but it's bizarre. Kyrie Irving is the only player in the NBA who could do this stuff and all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, he was white. And it's like, look, regardless of how you feel, when you put yourself in that situation, things are going to happen that's out of your control. For instance, people are saying, oh yeah, it's dumb that he wasn't, that he's allowed to, be in the stands, but he's not allowed to be on the court. Okay, that's dumb for you. However, if that's the rule he needs to abide by, he needs to. There's a simple way he can stop it. If he doesn't want to do it, hey, fine. Live your life, shoot your shot. Just understand when you have to now go through the league's rules and do things differently, don't push this false narrative that you're a victim. Don't expect me to feel bad for you because, bro, last time I checked, KD took the vaccine. He ain't dead. Bron took it. He's having a career year. Like, Giannis took it. He's in an MVP conversation. Like, Embiid took it, and this is the healthiest he's been in how long? So it's like, you know what I mean, Freddie? It's like, I understand, like, I'm not going to tell him you have to take it, but it's just common sense, and the only people who don't understand it are Kyrie fanboys. Once you put yourself in that position, There's rules you have to abide by, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter if you like the rule. Doesn't matter if you think it's dumb. It's a rule you have to abide by. And if you can't abide by it, that's fine. Don't let the door hit you with the good door split you, because we got plenty of young talent. If anyone don't want to take the vaccine, you want to go home forever, go home. Go home, because when we are in the league, we got plenty of young talent that will step up and fill the void. Kyrie ain't played for half the year, and let's be fair, not a single soul missed him. Let's be honest.
Yeah, my thing is, man, players always say, do what's best for the team. But Kyrie Irving, guess what? What's best for the team is for you to sacrifice. I recall, one of the reasons why James Harden left was because of you, but not for you being available. And I understand, injuries injured, KD was hurt, but most of it was because you was not willing to sacrifice for this team. James Harden, he sacrificed his game to fit in. He changed his game. He didn't care about going to get 50-point triple doubles a night. He didn't care about putting those big numbers up. You know what he said? Okay, Kyrie, I'm gonna let you go out and score. I'm gonna let you go out and dance on people. I'll be the facilitator. I'll average 22, 23 points a night. But guess what? He's like, man, like, okay, well, one night I play that role. One night I got to go out and score 50 to even give us a chance to win. And then, Kyrie Irving, you have to think about it at this point. Yes, you're fortunate that you're making millions. There's people in this world that have to sacrifice to be able to take care of their family just because they don't want to take the vaccine. Let me say that again. Just because you're making millions of dollars, it's okay for you. But there's people in this world that have families, have to pay their bills, that have had to sacrifice because of this mandate. But guess what they can't do? They can't say, you know what? I don't want to take it, so I'm not going to take it. I'm going to sit at home. That don't happen. So, hey, bro, like at the end of the day, you have a job. You're a basketball player. You don't want to do it. You don't want to play every game. Just like Pryor said, go ahead and retire. Just go home and retire. And I'm just curious what's going to happen in the finals in the game 7 in Brooklyn. If the mandate's not letting you play, what's going to happen then?
Well, it's simple. I'll give you. There's a simple answer to that. You're gonna have the casual people who are like, "Oh, Kyrie, ain't you shit, free Kyrie." They're gonna be. I can curse here, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna be bitching and fucking moaning like fucking 12-year-old girls, just first having their fucking goddamn period, and then the league is gonna be like, "All right, fine, whatever," and that's it. That's really all it's gonna come down to. Like, and this is what I don't understand, and this is why when it comes to this conversation, I don't like having this conversation with people, because rules matter until it's your guy. Rules are rules until it's your guy. Rules need to be followed until it's your guy. Then all of a sudden, and just in case, Freddie, I'm a LeBron James fanboy. 1010%. You know this, Freddie. I'm a fanboy. What up, Lennon? What it do, baby? But I'm a LeBron James fanboy. If LeBron James is doing this same thing, I'm saying the same exact thing.
But you know what? People are criticizing him worse than they are Kyrie.
To be honest, because the thing is, nobody would defend LeBron. Nobody would defend LeBron. You know what I mean? KD, that's another one. Nobody would defend Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? Giannis, it probably would be split because you got some people who like him, others don't. Steph, they probably would slaughter him too. And it's like, wait, timeout. I just find it odd that this is a guy everyone says he needs to be on the top 75, but y'all want to hold him to a different standard. I've never understood that. Because my thing is, if you're going to be on that top 75, then we need to hold you to a certain standard. But it's like, and again, I'm not even going to go, this is just common sense. If you're in a situation you don't want to be in, simple, remove yourself from the situation. I've never in my life, if you're in a toxic relationship, what do they tell you to do? Leave. If you're in a workspace that's hazardous to your health, what do? Leave. Like, again, this is the part that I don't like about this conversation, because to be honest with you, Freddie, and people are going to get mad at me for saying this, it's the unintelligent people that defend Kyrie. That's really all it comes down to. if y'all get mad at me, it is what it is. It don't matter. It don't matter. But it's the unintelligent. Because the same people, let's be honest, the same people who are saying that y'all rocking with Kyrie, say he's making the right choice, are the same ones slandering Ben Simmons because of his mental health. Lace them shoes up and take a lap. I don't care what no one says. I don't care what nobody says. The same people who are saying Kyrie Irving, oh my God, we need to tweak the rules, are the same people who support Calvin Ridley being suspended for a full year. Like, you see what I'm saying? So again, rules matter until it's your guy. And the only question I've asked, and this is the question that nobody wants to answer, why is it he's put on a different pedestal than everybody else? Kyrie Irving is not a franchise guy. He's not a top 1% in the NBA. Like LeBron, the NBA will try to make some, the NBA will not let LeBron do this. Giannis won't let him. Jokic, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, John Morant. If he was healthy, Zion. They won't let those guys do it. If they won't let those guys do it, why should Kyrie be allowed to get the special treatment? Now, to his credit, when he went lately, he's been taking it on the chin. He's been saying, "Hey, it is what it is. I'm getting punished," and I'm giving him kudos to that because again, I think you start to understand when you make this decision, there's gonna be a backlash, and whether you like it or not, there's just a backlash that comes with it. So kudos to Kyrie. He's taking it on the chin. The problem is his fanboys. That's truly what's becoming the problem because for like every time if Kyrie is saying, "Yeah, I'm good," they're gonna be like, "Oh no, they're doing Kyrie wrong." And then I ask you, and this is where I ask, is he really though? Like people are saying, "Oh, we don't know what the vaccine is gonna do to you in 10 years," but we know what it's gonna do now. And if you don't believe me, go ask the league. Go ask the Americans who have gotten vaccinated.
Well, it's not even just take it this far, bro. Like people act like this is the first time virus has been around and they had to put out a vaccine.
Nah,
Guess
Ebola
what?
never existed.
Yeah, I mean,
H1N1, swine flu, the common cold that everybody and their mom has to get so that way their kids can go to school. They never had that. Like,
and then it's like people act like when they go to their doctor and the doctor say, "Oh, I'm gonna prescribe you this." Do you say, "Hey, what's all the ingredients in there?" I guarantee you, most of Americans in this world don't.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, Freddie. The same people who are complaining and crying like fucking children about the vaccine eat processed hot dogs.
So,
come on, do better. I'll do
I mean,
disrespect.
at the end of the day, bro, like I said, nobody ever questioned Kyrie Irving's talent because we know
No.
this is one of the most talented players in the game.
To be honest with you, Freddie, this is why I'm honestly more mad. This is why I'm honestly more mad because, you could hoop. You could hoop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can hoop.
Yeah, so hey, nobody's questioning the talent of Kyrie Irving. Let's get that straight. Nobody ever questioned it.
Freddie, give it 2 weeks, and all of a sudden, give it 2 weeks. Us saying this, someone's gonna say, "Oh yeah, you guys think he's trash." I guarantee you, give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks.
But let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving to the last topic of the night.
Oh, this one's gonna have you hot.
LBJ, Bron, King James, Mr. Triple Dub. He don't have the where's it?
I think you're talking about like Kyrie.
Yeah. Man, the Lakers are in a bad position, probably. They really, really are. I'm a Laker fan. Love them to death, man.
He's just a Laker boy. Still trying to
They're in the 9th seed. They're 10 games under 500. And honestly, like I had hope at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I had hope.
Which as a fan, you should have some.
I had hope. Let's start at the beginning of the season. Beginning of the season, the idea was, okay, we got Russ, we got AD, we got LeBron, we got a big three. LeBron, Russ.
I disagree with that.
I'm just saying, at the beginning of the season, we had a big three. Okay, we hope to have the mindset that Russ was going to take that back seat. But unfortunately, the season did not start the way we planned. We came in the season already banged up. Okay, then okay, when we get healthy, we're gonna make this run. Well, we got healthy for a little bit. Braun got left missed like 11 games, and then okay, here we go. And then AD or LeBron came back, and Russell Westbrook was struggling, turning the ball over then. Couldn't shoot the ball well, didn't play defense. I mean, even at the start of the season. But okay, still an excuse that okay, we need to build the chemistry. AD go down, and then half the team go down with COVID. Okay, here comes another excuse. I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, give us time. Let us come together. Let us get our chemistry. Let us get healthy. All right, here we come. AD comes back. We're the most healthiest we've been all season.
Mhm.
All right, still, we win a game, lose a game. Hey, our season's been, the opposing team will get a big lead on us. It takes so much. We'll fight back, but we normally lose the game. It's our first quarters and our third quarters are bad.
Mhm.
Okay, so okay, after All Star break, okay, Russell Westbrook, he don't return. This is what people tell me. He turns the season around the second half of the season. All right, cool. Expecting this big run. The dude have had games where he scored 5 points. He's been shooting
Ah.
9% from the 3-point range. He's plays no defense. He's missing wide open layups. At this point, my hope is gone. And if anybody thinks the Lakers can make the playoffs at this point, I really think they're crazy. I mean, what's the point? I mean, what's the point even trying to go for a play-in? And the question is, is it time to sit LeBron down? I say, what's even the point of bringing Anthony Davis back? What's the point? Let's go ahead and rest LeBron for the
But
rest of the season. Let's go ahead and do it. What for? What for? For us to make it to a play-in game, woohoo,
I
and get
mean,
bounced out the first round. Hmm.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have to play Braun and you have to play AD. And I'm gonna tell you why. So first and foremost, why you want to play LeBron? First of all, you need to show that he can still hoop, right? Because after you get rid of Russell Westbrook, who I don't care what anybody says, if you think he's good, you're a high key moron. And I mean that with all due disrespect, of course. Like if you think if you think right now he's hooping great or he's hooping good, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Please destroy your television. And I mean that, of course, with all due disrespect. You need to show people that, hey, yo, you still got Braun here. That's, you know what I mean? You need to show that, that Braun is still that dude. You feel me? That's one. That's why you still got to play Braun. Why you got to play AD? Simple. AD, you got to be healthy, right? Let's get you in here. Let's run. I'll be honest with you. You know who I would sit? Russ. That's who I'm sitting. Why? Because I'm going to have Braun and AD do their thing, and I'm going to tell them, hey, yo, look, this is what we're going back to. This is what we're going back to. Because, look, I understand what you're talking about in terms of, like this year is a wash. I think you know that. But I still am going to play Braun because you need to show we need this, like Braun is still here. Free agents, swing by. And then AD, obviously, to make sure he's still healthy. But on top of that, and here's the thing, and someone says Russ needs to come off the bench. No, he does. He needs to come off the team. Because we've seen him with the second unit. And everyone is saying that, oh my God, he looks great. Let's be honest. He doesn't look great. He just looks a little better than when he's with the starting lineup. But again, you're so horrible with the starting lineup that you look better like coming off the bench. And by the way, someone said Lakers can beat Golden State in a 7-game. Y'all getting swept. You guys are getting listen. Phoenix sweep, Grizzlies sweep, Golden State sweep, Jazz 4-1 Jazz. Dallas,
I don't know about a sweep by
4-2
Golden
Dallas.
State, bro.
You said what?
I don't know. The reason I say about Golden State is because the last 2 times we played them, we beat them last time, and the last time we beat them, we was like,
but the problem is,
Braun
Freddie,
would have made them free throws.
But Freddie, the problem is now Clay's starting to get better. And you got Draymond back. So now Steph having to be the ball handler, now Steph can run around and do what he normally does. And that matters because, you know what I mean? Like that matters. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
you
I
add
definitely
that
agree.
in. You know what I mean? So now with Draymond, without Draymond, you guys would have a chance because obviously then Steph would have to be the ball handler and then Clay would have to be the Clay of old. But with Draymond being back, him running the offense, now there's a whole separate conversation. So Phoenix, y'all get swept. Memphis, y'all get swept. Golden State, y'all get swept. Jazz 4-1 to Jazz. Dallas, I think that's 4-1. You can even say 4-2 Dallas. And then Denver, 4-2 at best.
Yeah, my whole thing is, man. I mean, at this point, bro, it's no point of playing these guys. Like when the Lakers' expectations wasn't to making a play in, it wasn't a
It
playing
was a
making the
championship
first round.
caliber team. That's what y'all
It's
wanted.
championship or bust. At this point, it's the icing's on the wall. I'm telling y'all, bro. I said this a while back. This season have the writing on the wall of that year when we had Kobe, we had Dwight, we had Steve Nash, and all them. Kobe had to play so many minutes, had to score so many points. What is LeBron doing? He's doing the same thing to get us in the playoffs. And what happened to the last game? Kobe tore his Achilles. Why do that to LeBron? Genie, learn from the first mistake we made when we did that to Kobe. Learn the mistake. This ain't that rodeo. It ain't gonna happen. What's the point of getting AD hurt even worse? So what they need to do is you rest them two. You have Russ. You have Russ out there playing. You make him look like this amazing player. Let him go out there and go get these numbers that everybody care about, so they can start comparing him back to Oscar Robinson, so we can raise his trade value up. I mean, there's no point of having him playing. What's up, Tony?
What up, gents? How y'all tonight?
Bro, how you feeling?
Oh, hey, I'm great. I'm getting ready to go on terminal leave here in 29 days. I'm about to be great.
Are you
That's
sure
it.
you great, Tony? Because
Yeah.
I don't mean to change the subject, but I'm glad there's a cowboy on the show, Mr. Jerry Jones. I don't know if he's doing such great. I mean, you guys have lost. Y'all, now, Michael, I want to say this, my brother. There's a couple times he have though. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. But back to what I was saying, you guys have lost some key parts down there in the Big D. The first one you let Mari Cooper go for not even a bag of chips, crumbs of chips,
Oh,
crumbs.
oh
The
yeah, like
crumbs.
Lay's
just-
potato chips. Like the bag is like half full, and it's one of them
Can I
little
say
big
Yeah.
one thing
bags.
real quick? Can I say one thing real quick?
What's up?
Should I say one thing? I was informed that Russ was taking better care of the ball. That's what I was informed. I was told this by a guy who just doesn't know basketball. He can't even spell it. And then he ended up convincing someone who I thought was informed. I thought he was very educated. Unfortunately, with each passing day, we have this conversation. He proves me wrong. I'm sorry, Mike, but I love you, bro. But do better. I really mean it. Do better. And for the other guy, Jim, you're a lost cause. So in terms of usage percentage, Russ is ranked 45th in the league, 26.5% usage percentage. Keep that in mind. Can anybody tell me where he ranks in terms of turnovers?
Oh, probably
Like
top of the
overall
league,
turnovers?
top
Number
5.
2.
He's number 1.
I gave him number 2 to be generous.
He's
I'd say
number
top 5 because I was like, I ain't gonna be wrong in that regard.
yeah, 100%. He's top. I just want to know. Top 5, right? That's the top 5. He is number 1. Number 1. I just want to throw that out there. He is number 1. Do you know who's right behind him? Trae Young. He has a usage percentage of 33.5. So that okay. So crazy, right? Do you know who's behind him? You know
Harden.
who's third? Anyone want to take a guess? Anybody?
James Harden.
Whenever just anybody?
No.
Anybody want to take a guess?
James Harden.
James Harden. James Harden. Do y'all happen to know what his usage percentage is?
I'm gonna say what?
I'll give you a hint. It's not 26%. It's way more than 26%. So don't give me this foolishness and this garbage that he's been taking care of the ball. This is some of the lowest usage percentages he had in his career, and he's still leading the league. Now, and I'm going to continue, Freddie. Nah, I'm going to continue, Freddie. I don't give a shit. Nah, fuck off, all right? I love you, Freddie. But nah, because this gets me so tight. Because, Tony, defensively, This dude came in the league as a defender. He was a lockdown defender. That's the rumor. Now, if it's a lie, someone else told it. But that's what I heard. He was still playing defense in Houston. He was still playing defense in Washington. That's what I was told.
No.
That's the rumor going around. I said that's not true. I was told I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm just a hater. That was that. But that's what I heard. Tony, do you know what people are shooting on Russell Westbrook? Over 57%.
I figure, yeah.
Over 57%. He's got guards having field goal percentages of centers. I'm gonna say that one more time. He's got guards having the field goal. Like, remember when DeAndre Jordan, when he was at the Clippers, was like what 3 years straight that he was in the league with all these little putbacks. That's what he's making. That's the field goal percentage they got. That's the field goal percentage they got. Now, in terms of his IQ, I've said this before. His IQ has never been great ever. If you don't believe me, go look at OKC, because at his apex, the dude was taking a three when they'll be up 11. He's taking a three with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. I dare somebody to look me in my pupils and the eye sockets and look me deep in my soul and tell me that's a smart play. I dare you. I dare you.
Now, Brad, I do got to ask though: is it not smart because he didn't make the three?
No. Regardless if he makes it or not, it's still stupid. Regardless if he makes it or not. Now, if he makes it, hey, look, listen, it's dumb play, but you got it right. Hey, a dead clock is right 2 times a day. So if you get it off, mazel tov to you, but it's still a dumb play.
I'm gonna tell you what my problem is. You know, I want to address something real quick. This comment. He said Russ been getting out the way more lately. You know why? It's because Laker fans have had enough. The fans have let him know that they didn't had enough of him. You know, and it's not even really his play. It's the things that he's saying in the media. When you come out and say that you have no expectations, bruh, you can't say that, man. You can't name an all-time great Laker that have ever said, even Dwight Howard, his first time didn't come out and say.
Lonzo.
These guys never have came out as you can go back from the days of Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, the Magic, Shaq, Kareem, Kobe, none of these guys. And that's why Magic went on NBA Today, that show on the game against the Warriors, and said what he said. Could you imagine if Kobe was alive? Kobe wasn't going out publicly to say that. Hey, you would have hit a phone call. Kobe would have been. He would have came to crypto, and he would have said something to his face like, "Hey, there's certain things you don't say when you wear that purple and gold."
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of them.
Isn't it the same thing with Paul George when they blew that 3-1 lead and he was like, "We didn't have any expectations." The media killed him for that.
Mm-hmm.
They killed it, but I'm supposed to feel bad for Russ. Russ is like, "Oh, I don't like people calling me West Break." Oh, but you loved it when they were calling you West Beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or Beastbrook, you loved it when they called you that.
Mr. Triple Dub and all that.
You loved it when it was calling you a victim when Katie left. You loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But the
all of a
problem
sudden you're
is with
playing
Russ.
bad. You don't want no one talking to you. Come on, man.
The problem is with Russ. He's a good player on a team like the Sacramento Kings because he don't have expectations because he's a guy that he cares. He wants to get his number. This is a guy that wants to make sure he can get that triple double. He's a guy that says, "Hey, if I can shoot as many shots I want, I can do what I want." But hey, he can take us apart team to the playoffs. But he wants to be the number one option. He wants to be the guy. But he can't be that on this team. He can't be that on this team,
bro. He's
good.
Go ahead, Tony.
You could even see that, because think about it. He didn't really mesh. He didn't really gel that well with KD when they were in OKC. They, OKC, oh, hey, all these expectations, and then they'd go down the toilet. KD leaves. Everybody's like, oh my God, Westbrook can carry the team, but then he can't go anywhere with it. He goes to Houston. You look at how he was with, James Harden, and that was just a utter catastrophe within itself because you have two pretty much drama queen players together. And that's why that dumpster fire fizzled out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, honestly, you could even see it last year when he was with Washington. Like, I don't know how much of the games that you saw with him. I would see him literally just pass the ball out of the court. I'm like,
he would get so mad. And on the sidelines, it was even worse because on the sidelines when Bradley Beal was cooking, he's screaming at Bradley Beal, "You need to give me the ball."
Mm-hmm.
Let that.
And I'm gonna tell you this, you guys. Just check this out. When you play with LeBron, They brought Russ in here to be the third option. Okay, let's be fair.
Yep.
Every big third option LeBron has played with had to sacrifice. Look at Chris Bosh. This is a guy that when
Kevin
he was
Love.
in Toronto, he was dominated. But what did he have to do? Learn to be a 3-and-D guy. He had
Yep.
to learn that he had to take certain things out of his game to make it work. Kevin Love. This was a guy that can give you 20 and 20 in a night. This is a guy who can get you in the post. This is I'm talking about Kevin Love in Minnesota.
Yep.
He had to be a 3-and-D. He had to be a guy to be a spot up shooter, rebound, and where he can fit with LeBron. Okay, Russ. Well, we need you. Everybody knew Russ wasn't a shooter. Everybody knew that he never have been. Okay, Russ. Russ, when is Russ is dominant? When he had the ball, pushing down transition, getting dunking and layup. But guess what? Russ, we missing wide open layups. He's missing dunks. That's the problem. But then he wanted to say, okay, well, let me go ahead and shoot this mid-range shot offside of the goal. Let me shoot a three, air ball. He's not a good decision. Again, I'm gonna just explain this, and it's just a picture of what how a season is. He can bring the ball up with nobody in front of him, and the ball run out of bounds. It's that bad, you guys. I've
No,
seen
I've
that
seen it.
many times, numerous of times, and I'm like, Russ, what are you doing? So at this point, you can't win with this guy. The Lakers have no guts to sit him down. So what's the point of playing with LeBron? We're playing LeBron. What's the point of playing AD when you still have the problem? Them AD coming back is not going to tell us make this guy not turn the ball over at a high clip. It's not going to make him all of a sudden be a great defensive player. All of a sudden he's going to turn to Steph Curry. That's not going to happen. This
No,
is
but I mean, you still because you have to look at the fact that LeBron is getting up there in age. He's still producing. Don't get me wrong. He's still playing some of his best ball that he's had. They still have a chemistry that they have to work on together, and they still have to fine tune some things because
Can I be honest?
you can only play the same thing so much before it gets old and people start to learn from it.
I'll be honest. This isn't a chemistry situation. This isn't a chemistry problem.
Oh no, not with him and AD. But I'll say
No,
this.
I'm talking about I'm talking about in Russ in general.
Oh, Russ is just his own issue. I think honestly, the fact that things aren't going as well as he wanted it to with the homecoming in LA. I think when everybody was first kind of ecstatic, like, oh, he's got to shake the rust off, he's got to get used to playing with him and everything like that. Now that everything's gone sour, I think Russ's confidence is just down in the toilet.
Well,
and I think now because
better.
he's not being cheered by his hometown team, which I mean, if you really think about it, and Freddie, you're more of a Lakers fan than I am. As Lakers fans, who do you really like more? Do you guys like homegrown talent, like Magic, Kobe, Shaq, like guys that came into the organization, or do you guys like the kind of outsiders? It's like, yeah, you're on the Lakers, but you're not really a Laker.
Well, the thing is, though, Tony,
I don't think it matters.
the Lakers fans will accept you. It's like, okay, for a prime example, before LeBron joined the Lakers, guess what? There's always been this, Kobe versus LeBron. Always, hey, if you're the Kobe fan, you hated LeBron. If you're a LeBron fan, you hated Kobe.
Yep.
It was that type of deal. The moment LeBron joined the Lakers, Laker fans embraced him. We will talk. Laker fans will love you. They will love you if you're playing good, playing hard, and as you embrace them. But when you come into the media talking about you have no expectations and stuff like that, that's when they start turning on you.
That's when he alienated them, because you got to remember, everyone was like, oh yeah, this is a championship team, and even Russ in the beginning was like, yeah, we winning. Let's be like and I think that's kind of what made it sour even more, because all of a sudden you were expecting that, and then you're like, oh, I'm not playing well. Yeah, we didn't have expectations. It's like, wait a minute. Where is this coming from? Like, if you say you have no expectations, you're almost giving up. And forget the Lakers fan base. Name me one organization that will let you say, oh yeah, we're giving up and we'll be fine. I love Jason Tatum. The day he tells me he's giving up, I'm looking at him different.
I mean, the Detroit Lions. I mean, they give up all the time.
He said, who?
Yeah, but they never come out and say, oh, we have no expectations. We had no expectations in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
Nobody ever said that part.
right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of why that's why it's like that's I mean, again, this is just me. This is just me. I said it from the beginning. It's not gonna work. Russ is not a dude that when you try to contain him, he can't handle it. He can't. He just that's not him. We've seen it before when he's had to be contained. He gets butthurt and he gets in his feelings. You don't believe me? Go see the first time they try to stop him in OKC. It didn't work. It got to the point where like when Scotty tried, that got Scott Brooks fired.
Hmm.
He goes over to Houston. They control him. After 1 year, he's in his feelings. He's like, oh, I want to get traded. Goes to Washington. They try to control him. After 1 year, what does he do? I want to trade.
Yep.
Like,
See, right now, what the Lakers need to do, they need to go get some winners. And when I say that, even somebody with, and this is what I thought Russ would bring. Okay, Russ, you've been in a lot of situations where it didn't work. You have had historical seasons. You put up all these numbers, but you know what you haven't done? You haven't finished the job. So I thought he was gonna come in with the mindset that okay, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win, and he have not done that. So the Lakers need to go find somebody who's going to help them win. Need to find a winner because Russ isn't a winner. I've asked that. What have he won outside of a little MVP? I mean, MVP is cool, but what have he won? He haven't won anything. And he's been on teams where he should have won a championship. Let's not sit here and say it's not like a Donovan Mitchell or a Jason Tatum, where these are young guys. Russ has been in the league for quite some time. Has been on teams where they were stacked,
Hmm.
but they have not. He have not won anything, and he's been a part of the problem.
Well,
And
and
right now, he's one of the biggest problems. I'm not saying he's the only problem, but he's one of the biggest problems.
do you think, because I don't can't remember if you and I talked about this before when the season started. Um, the fact that you do have an aging LeBron, and LeBron has kind of started to take a step back more in the last couple years of like, hey, I can be the game manager, like I can be the guy that drives the ball, but I'm going to let a lot of the other guys cook and a lot of the other guys play.
mm-hmm.
Do you think that's the coaching's fault for not saying, okay, we're going to try to be more of a supporting cast for Russ and let Russ do his thing? Because like you guys said, if he's the number one, he's fine. Like
No,
he
no, my
can.
brother. You know why?
But that's the
It's
problem.
because
I'm
people
not. Go
we're
ahead.
not change. The Lakers shouldn't have to change for you when you have a LeBron, when you have an Anthony Davis. Hey, Anthony Davis, he needs to take some of this blame as well because he can't stay healthy. Hey,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that he's not a problem because he is because
Yeah.
he's a big part of what we do. But
Well,
you would still think, and LeBron James and Russ can still figure it out. But what Russ need to do, our offense need to go through LeBron. He need to go through LeBron. Russ need to start cutting down the lane, going for layups and dunks. At this point, going getting rebounds, but playing solid defense. That's all really need for him to do right now. We need him to stop taking jump shots. We need him to stop taking threes, but cut down the lane, dunks and layups. But he has to. But the thing is, he's missing those too.
mhm.
He's missing those too. So it's kind of like, okay, what can you do?
Right.
You
I'm
know what he
there have been
reminds me
some
of?
games where Austin Reeves played better than him, an undrafted rookie.
You know what he reminds me of, and this get ready because the casuals are gonna get so mad at this. He reminds me of Isaiah Thomas when he went to Cleveland. You're
Hmm.
giving me horrible defense or horrible offense and even worse defense. It's the same thing. The only difference, he
But
got
I'm
a
gonna
little
tell
bit of a
y'all
growth
this.
spurt and he's getting paid too much money.
I'm gonna tell you this before we end the show. What needs to happen this offseason with the Lakers? The first move, Rob Pelinka, I think it's time for him to go.
No.
And the reason why I'm gonna say this, I really believe Rob has lost his voice in LA. With Kobe being gone, I believe Kobe was just saying because I mean,
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember you were telling me about
Oh
this.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
yeah, without nobody in the league is giving Rob Pelinka a general manager job. Nobody. The only reason why he got this job is because of Kobe. I think without Kobe giving him his little insight, he's okay. So that need to go. Jeannie Buss, You need to figure out who's going to be in your corner because right now you have too many people. You have too many people.
Real quick, Evan, grow up.
Um, I mean, he need listen to too many people. You have Kirk Rambin, his wife. You have
I
Phil
heard they got
Jackson
replaced by.
coming
Yeah, I
out
was about to say, I heard they got replaced by Phil.
yeah, you got Phil Jackson coming out of nowhere. Haven't seen him since how long? Um,
You
you
got
have
LeBron.
you have LeBron in his camp. Genie, get control of your team.
$20 says Rob Pelinka's the next GM of the Trash Kings.
But
I
I'm gonna
love
tell you
it.
this though. I'm gonna tell you this. The reason why I'm afraid, scared, is because Jeannie do not move. She do not get away from people easily. It took Obi and Magic to do the things with her brother.
But the thing is like for Jeannie, like, because I get where she's coming from. Because she doesn't. It's not that she doesn't know basketball, but she's always like, I
She's
could always
very
learn more.
influenced.
Yeah, and that's the thing because she wants to learn more.
Yep.
But the problem is that it looks like to me like when she hears something, it's like, okay, you've been around longer, so you know more. But that's not always necessarily the case. Like if you
But
want to
the
hear
thing
people
is
out,
though,
that's fine. But
she's been around the game a long time.
Oh,
which
she
which
has.
is kind of weird. Like,
She
why
need to
don't
go
you
back to
feel
her
confident?
roots. She needs to go back to her roots and remember how her daddy used to run the business. Go
Well,
back, go back to his roots. Put people in place to do the job. But
Yeah.
you don't need all these people.
But you got
Like
to
my
think
mom
too.
said, you need to call Jerry West. I don't know what beef they got going on, but
But
they
you
need
better
to
kill it.
clean that up.
You better
Mhm.
kill it.
Yeah, but you got to think too. I would say for Jeannie, it's the other outside people. Yeah, I maybe just advice. I would listen to what they say, but I don't know how much I would take it to heart.
Bro,
I
yeah, I would just hear you out.
Right, because it's like it doesn't always hurt to hear like an outside voice on something.
Mhm.
I would honestly say where Jeannie I think is trying to do this fine balance of a line was she listened to LeBron a lot first because you think about it, you get LeBron coming into a team, he knows how to win, he knows what he wants to set up to win, and really I would say that the trade deadline is where she put her foot down at least of like, I'm going to listen to you, LeBron, but I'm not going to listen to you as much because I know you want to trade Russ and get out of this, but I need you to figure it out and make it work because I did what I needed to do on my part. I need you to do what you did on your part. So I think
That's true.
I think that's where Jeannie is taking a little bit of and putting her foot down. But I do agree. She, I would say she needs to surround herself with better people and
Let me
have
the
newer voices
comment.
to listen to, not just that one.
The comment, I understand your comment, but at the end of the day, nothing goes on in that
Yeah,
organization
no,
without
she
her
No,
no,
that she
she
doesn't know
behind
about.
the scenes.
yeah, nah, she runs it. Come on, let's stop with that narrative. Like, come on, you
And
better.
then number two, the second thing needs to happen, and I really don't want this to happen. It's going to happen. Frank Vogel's going to lose his job. I don't think he's a problem because management did not put him. You say, oh, they're not as great of a defensive team. Well, you bring in
Or
guys like
a
Malik
defender.
Monk, who's never played defense in his life. You bring
Never.
in Carmelo Anthony, who's
Matter
not
of fact,
been.
that's why the Hornets let him walk.
Yeah, you
Because
bring in Carmelo Anthony, a guy that's not a defensive player. You bring in DeAndre Jordan, who's obviously been burnt.
Yeah.
You bring in Dwight Howard, who's a shell of himself. So you bring in guys that don't play defense, but you expect him to have the number one defensive team, and you let go of your best defensive players, Caldwell Pope, Caruso. You let go of defensive-minded players. So I don't believe he deserved to be fired. More than likely, he's going to be fired.
I will
The
say,
next, huh?
I will say this, Freddie, because you saying that
And
you would
don't get me
probably
wrong, Pride. Don't get me wrong. Hey, at the beginning of the season, I was all for him. I said he need to go.
yeah,
It's
no,
time
no. I
to
remember
go.
we had the conversation when you started
But
realizing that, like, yo, if you as a coach, you can only do so much. Like, if really, let's be honest, you can only do so much with Frank Vogel. Because I remember saying, I was like, when they were the championship year, their defense was hot. Why? Because not only was Frank Vogel coaching, but everyone was listening, and they had the players to do it. Like, let's be honest here. Like,
because one thing a coach can't do,
if
he can't teach you effort. You just
that's
have
that's
to
the
have that.
equivalent. That's the equivalent of trying to get Steve Kerr to all of a sudden make Detroit Golden State. And it's like, well, if they don't have the offensive firepower, it don't matter,
Yeah.
Here's what I will say this. I do not think under any circumstances Rob Pelinka should be fired. This is what I think they should do. Next year, LeBron, Jeannie and Rob sit down, and Jeannie Buss needs to say, Bron, I love you. But this year, we're gonna have to do things our way. Rob, stop being a bitch. You're a grown man. Act like it.
Here's my balls if you need to borrow them.
Exactly. Like, yo, you need to borrow some balls? I got you here. Boom. You feel me? I got an extra set, so I'm good. Like, and I love Bron, but I think LeBron needs to understand. Like, I think
one thing is he's looking for his buddy, looking out for his buddy. He's like, I don't think he's.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Like, my thing is, I'm okay with you looking out for your boy, as long as it's not to the detriment of the team. That's really all it comes down to. Once you're becoming a detriment, it's ridiculous. I think Jeannie needs to say, look, Bron, I love you, but okay, fuck off. Okay. Rob, I need you to fuck on, my guy, because I don't know where you've been. I understand, Kobe passed and whatnot. I get it, but you also need to step up here. Because, and Freddie, a lot of people are saying what you're saying, that ever since Kobe passed, it does seem like Rob Pelinka kind of lost the flame he once had, which, again, Rob and Kobe have had a long relationship. So obviously when he passed, obviously it was going to hurt him. But either Rob needs to understand I need to step up, or he just needs to step aside. Like, I think next year, everybody is on the hot seat. And what I mean by that is, Phil, you're on the hot seat, because if they don't work, I'm not listening to you. Kurt and Linda, you're on the hot seat. So I'm not. You said what, Freddie?
Why does Phil even have a seat, though? That's what I'm trying to figure.
You want to know why?
If he's not out there coaching, I don't want him.
Because she's panicking. She's panicking. It's the same thing with Magic. Before he got the job, she was advising him. Or he was advising her. She's panicking, and she's just like, okay, I need to listen to another voice that knows basketball. Oh,
don't get me wrong. I would love to have Magic Johnson, but the thing is with Magic is, and this is the thing about him, he's not available to do the job day to day. And comment, that might be her title, but at the end of the day, nothing goes on in that organization without her.
Exactly, it's still her. It's still her. That's not her title, but it's still her. It's still her. Like, you know what I mean? But
and I'll say too, and I think part of it she's panicking, and I'm really not trying to turn this into like a LeBron bash session, but like, I know, no, Pride, hear me out. I'm not, because I promise I'm really not.
LeBron, you think there comes a lot of pressure, because if he don't have his way, then you start hearing these, might go back to Cleveland and stuff like that.
I wouldn't even say that.
You're hearing it from the outside, though. Right. It's not LeBron's fault.
No,
go ahead, Tony.
I would say the
slander
issue,
LeBron.
Only a little bit, I promise. I would say at least when he went to Miami, like the core was already there, right? Like LeBron didn't really have to do much to edit that roster. Like that core was there. When he goes back to Cleveland, okay, I got to make a little bit of changes. They win the chip, and then it's the very next year he's like, okay, we got to make more changes. And then it falls apart. And when it finally falls apart and it doesn't work anymore, okay, then he leaves, he goes to Lakers. He basically does the same thing. It's like, okay, I know what I need. Like, I'm trying to work with what we got. Doesn't work. We go get the players and went, okay, now we're going to run it back. Okay, that didn't really work because we're hurt. Let's go get more. And I feel like the Lakers are in the same situation that Cleveland was when LeBron left the second time. Is now we're stuck. We have a terrible cap situation. All of our future is gone. And it's, now what do we do? And I agree with you, Pride. I think Jeannie is just listening to whoever she can. It's like, okay, I need to hear something different. I need to hear some type of other idea that I think could potentially work to basically try to pacify the LA fan base. Because, I mean, you think about it, Los Angeles is a basketball town. I don't care. The Rams are there, yes. The Chargers there, yes. Yes, the Rams won a Super Bowl. LA didn't really care that the Rams won a Super Bowl. Like, the LA cared more that the Lakers won a championship than they would ever care about the Rams winning a championship.
Okay, so to change the subject, and real quick, because I'm funny how I think Pride changed the subject. I was building up for Tony. I want Tony to answer this question. But I'm going to repeat it just for the people in the back that didn't hear me. Jerry Jones and the
Daddy Jerry
Cowboys have been busy this offseason.
But Freddie, did you hear like the actual thing? Like why Gregory was actually heated? Did you actually
something about the language of the contract?
So basically what so to make a long story short, they basically put in a clause where the Cowboys could have voided his entire contract whenever they felt like it, and
If
they
he
could have
wanted to.
disguised it under an injury.
Yeah.
And basically, they said everyone has it except for Dak.
Dak. Yep.
And then when he said that, he was like, "Yeah, fuck you, I'm out." Like,
Yeah.
so basically, that's why Randy Gregory was heated.
Mhm.
That's why he was vexed out of his mind.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him. And Tony, this isn't like a Cowboys bash, but like think about it. If you're saying, by the way, at any point we can just void your entire contract, like, I get why he was upset.
Well, I mean, I get it. I get it from 2 points. I get why he's pissed about it, because I'd be like, wait, what the hell you mean you could just void my contract and then I don't get any more money? Like, I get that for sure. But at the same time, I would rather you be up front and tell me, hey, if there comes a point, we ain't gonna pay you no more, and you can't come back and say, no, you can't do that. We could say, no, it's right here in the contract. We don't have to pay you. So I mean, I get it for sure. But I mean, I will say too, as a Dallas fan, watching Gregory over the last few years, the dude's just been suspended for over half the fucking time. It's like,
if we're gonna be honest, I mean, is
I'm
this
like,
really a loss? Like, let's be honest.
Right. I'm like, really, the full time that we finally had you was last damn year. Like, every other time you turn around, you were getting suspended.
So what
for drug
about?
use. I'm like,
Con man, bro. Hey, that's cool. You can talk to LeBron, you can talk to AD, but at the end of the day, bro, she's the owner of the team. And when you have an owner of a business, even though
That's
you
like
have
the same
executives,
thing, Freddie, that's like the same thing as saying in Cleveland, Dan Gilbert doesn't have any choice of who comes in. He doesn't have any say whatsoever. He's the owner. So obviously he's gonna have his thing. Jeannie is not only I guess she's a part owner, but she's the one who's there every single day. Her brother's not. So
she's
it's
the
like,
majority owner.
she
And
signs the
even though you
paycheck.
have executives,
yeah.
they make decisions, but they had to say, okay, boss, what do you think about this? Well, are you okay with this? That's all I'm saying.
Or they may not even do that, but nonetheless, you know the paperwork eventually comes across Jeannie's desk, and if not, Jeannie's gonna be like, what the hell is this?
Right.
Yeah, so but Tony, you let Amari Cooper go for a bag of chips. You lost Wilson. Hey, y'all putting a lot on the little shoulders of CD Lamb. He definitely gotta be like number 88 now. He can't be dropping passes now.
Hey, that was the whole goal.
And here's the thing, Tony. Believe it or not, I'm in the minority. I don't think getting rid of Amari Cooper was a bad thing. I think it was a great thing. You guys overpaid for a number 2 at best.
Then you paid Michael Gallup all that money.
See, that right there is my issue. Like, I'll be honest, I think that contract is worse than Christian Kirk's. Change my mind.
Well, I'll say this. So I agree with you to a point with Amari. And I say that because for me, Amari was just inconsistent. I think he is a number 1. I do think he actually is a number 1. And I say that because obviously now he's Cleveland's number 1 too. And he was Oakland's number 1 when he was with Oakland. He is a number 1. The problem is he is inconsistent.
But you have to be consistent to be a number 1.
True.
Right. So that's kind of why I'm saying he's not.
I do agree though. And I think that's also why I was pissed that we traded him for peanuts. I was hoping we'd at least maybe get a third. And then if we swap 6, fine. Because I knew we weren't going to get a first round pick back. Because you think about it, Dallas has a tendency, we overpay the snot out of basically above average talent, if that. And yeah, they're eating $20 million a year. Now they take that, they flip it, and they give it to Gallup, and we're actually saving about I think if I did my math right, I think it's about $4.5 million a year.
Yep.
Under the cap of what we would with Amari. Now I will say his rookie year, Gallup was getting the double team numbers that he was getting because of Dallas's just overall poor wide receiver core that year. Because you had Gallup, you had Allen Hurns that they reached for instead of going for Allen Robinson, and you had Cole Beasley in the slot. So it was like, yeah, out of everybody who's getting double teamed, it's Gallup because he's the better out of those 3.
Right.
I think if he can recover from the ACL injury, I think he'll be fine. I think he can be a solid number 2 on the outside. I am upset that we lost Wilson because I felt like he's a big body. He could be on the outside, and we could keep CD in the slot where I think CD thrives the best, because CD does not thrive on the outside
No, he does not.
at all. So, and honestly, and it wouldn't really matter for Dallas because A, nobody's going to trade for him, and B, it's the same as if we cut him as if we keep him. I would have honestly rather we got rid of Zeke than we would have Amari, but that's just me.
Well, man, this is another great episode of Freddie Facts. Hey, to all the viewers out there, make sure you go follow us on the All Sports All Plays Network. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TV, Roku, Fire TV, Tiki Live TV, and all those great stuff. Make sure you go follow us. We put out a lot of great content 7 days out the week, 3 to 4 shows a day. Big things coming over here at the ASAP Network, so make sure you go give us a follow. But until then, we have ASAP in the morning, which you do Pride. They're going to be talking about a variety of different sports. So make sure you guys tune in over there.
Thank you, Mama Henderson.
Shout out to my mama, staying up late. Know she need to be sleeping in the morning, but much love and support. I appreciate you guys. I'll read that comment later. But peace out. Until then, we're out. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all